I was a girl in the village doing alright. Then I became a princess overnight. Now I gotta figure out how to do it right. So much to learn and see.
Haven't seen it before.
Oh, he's actually a buddy of mine. Let me introduce you to him. His name is Veldora.
Veldora?
Veldora?
Yep, I'm the great storm dragon Veldora Tempest.
That's right. I recognize him. He's Noir, one of the 7 primordial demons. But what's even more terrifying is that somehow someone got such a powerful being to serve them. A demon lord possessing a hidden power that surpasses even the bounds of imagination.
お使いできるだけで幸福です。
よし、わかった。
おお、感謝いたします。我が君、リムル。甘美な響きです。それでは今後はリムル様と。
で、お前の名は？
私など名もない悪魔で十分でございます。
名前はないのか。じゃあ報酬代わりに名前をつけてやろう。
なんと、それは最大のご褒美でございます。
あ、お前の名前はディアブロだ。
ディアブロ。
Sin pero, sin pero, sin pero, sin pero,
Isn't it scary, though? Huh? To have so many people who are precious to you? If it were me, if even one of those bonds were lost, I don't know. I'd be scared. The most precious things are always far too small not to lose, and far too fragile not to break. You will regret it. You'll regret building all of this. And when that time comes, you won't be yourself anymore.
Known at the time as just Rudra, was born millennia ago as a prince of the Nazca kingdom with the ambition to unite the entire world. At some point, he was taken under the tutelage of Veldanava, who trained him to be a chosen hero that could rival Guy Crimson. Over the course of the many years of his training, he obtained both the unique skill Chosen One and the ultimate skill Uriel. He was also blessed by the elementals and their queen, awakening as a true hero sometime after. Before his first confrontation with Guy, Veldanava approached him and proposed that they trade ultimate skills, his Uriel for Veldanava's Michael. Rudra accepted the offer and received Michael, a skill better suited for his dream of unifying the world.
When the Eastern Empire invaded, they saw the labyrinth as an easy target full of treasure. They were wrong. Once over 530,000 soldiers had entered, Ramirez and Veldora sealed the only exit and completely changed the rules. The entire labyrinth was put on high alert, unleashing every single one of its powerful floor guardians at once. The soldiers were trapped. It was a systematic extermination, floor by floor, until no one was left alive.
I heard about that. So it's true that the slime has been naming primordials. With that bit of intel now confirmed, Velgrand couldn't hide her surprise. However, her body remained undisturbed as she flicked away Testarosa's whip.
In Veldora's brain, a warning was ringing at full force. If it had been a head-on strike, he might have been able to resist the attack even if he could not avoid it. However, now that he had been hit by complete surprise, there was nothing Veldora could do. Ouch, this is not good. It's better to just accept the defeat this time and get revenge the next time we meet. Kwahahaha. Now then, I'll contact Rimuru. Despite the situation, Veldora had plenty of room to spare. It was because he knew that he and Rimuru were connected by a soul corridor, and he could be resurrected. As long as Rimuru was alive, Veldora was immortal. Wait a minute. What is this? This is bad. This is really bad. By the time he realized what was happening, it was too late. That man, Emperor Rudra, was about to take over Veldora's mind. The judgment bullet had made him severely hurt. It was all over for Veldora. Rudra's control was more powerful than he had imagined. It was obvious that if he left things as is, it would affect even Rimuru through the soul corridor. That was unforgivable, Veldora thought. Therefore, he cut off the soul corridor of his own volition. This is fine. I'll leave the rest to you, Rimuru. With those last words, Veldora's consciousness plunged into darkness.
Demon Lord Rimuru had appeared. Seeing him, oh, so you came here noticing your owner was stolen. Rimuru acting quick, already planned out the tactical conditions for victory. In this situation they were: recover Veldora, eliminate the threat, massacre every one of the Imperials. That was all. A torrent of attacks with power equaling that of ultimate skills rushed towards Rimuru. Attacks reaching for Rimuru were easily nullified by the absolute barrier made by ultimate skill / Covenant King Uriel. Rimuru slightly shifted his gaze towards the Emperor who hadn't moved, and the guards by his side. Is that all? I don't need to be careful at all then, and don't get killed before I come for you. And then, to remove the hindrances between him and Veldora, Rimuru played his next hand. Diablo, Testarossa, Ultima, Herrera, the three Devil Lords, along with Diablo, swiftly answered. You're allowed to rampage all you want. Letting them get in my way is also forbidden. How shall we handle Veldora Sama's elder sister? I'll deal with her. Now go, grind them to dust. You wait, Veldora. I'll definitely free you. And the true battle had finally started.
'That aura. Seems you're not gonna make this easy, are you? Have it your way. But still, what the hell is going on? Those waves of anger are awfully similar to Veldora. While still a demon lord, a mere slime is cloaked in the same hockey as us true dragons. Inconceivable. Dangerous. An overwhelmingly powerful aura comparable to that of a true dragon. If you're allowed to live, you will surely become a threat in the future. Therefore, I'll destroy you here and now.
Veldora destroyed Demon Lord Rimuru.
Grind wasted no time to attack Rimuru with her burning breath, as Rimuru commanded. Velgrind's burning breath was blocked easily with Covenant King Uriel. As a test, she released tens of heat blasters in a continuous attack. Tsk. Everything gets blocked, as though perfectly calculated. How annoying. Demon Lord Rimuru wasn't using the shield against Veldora, but was either dodging or repelling the attacks with a similar attack. The prideful Velgrind decided to unleash the most powerful attack in her entire arsenal. Velgrind confirmed the effects of her attack with absolute confidence, but she was stupefied as she saw the unharmed Rimuru. That was definitely dangerous, but it's simple to eat such an overly impulsive attack, you know? Stay there quietly for a while. I'll play with you after I free Veldora. Rimuru confirmed that Velgrind was properly sealed. To use this short yet seemingly infinite amount of time the best he could, Rimuru charged towards Veldora. Rimuru was finding difficulty in doing anything decisive against Veldora. It wasn't a direct source of damage, but stamina is definitely being shaved off, decided. To not just neutralize the storm attacks with Gluttony King Belzebuth, but to straight up totally devour Veldora, making me do all this work, Veldora. Stop causing all this trouble, damn it. So I began to devour the Storm Dragon. My body began to feel so much pain. As I converted what I devoured into energy, the equivalent amount of flesh was destroyed. This repeatedly repeated. Alert. Reporting results of parallel analysis. Analysis of cardinal acceleration has concluded. Reproduction of ability has failed. Analysis of Storm Blast has concluded. Reproduction of ability successful. It is now possible to use it. Analysis of Storm Dragon energy has concluded. Would you like to execute? Would you like to begin reconstructing your body into a true dragon? Fu-fu-fu-fu-ha-ha, Certainly, I executed a 3-part laugh. I'm now one step closer to my brother Veldora. Blinding light flooded the surroundings. When the light faded, the Storm Dragon's figure had disappeared. Devouring the Storm Dragon, which could be called its parent, its body was reborn as the 5th true dragon, the ultimate slime. Velgrind saw all that whilst trapped in her prison. According to investigations, Rimuru was born from the congregation of magic essence, from Veldora's leaked aura. It would naturally be a unique monster. A coincidence? It can't be. Didn't want to recognize this, nor would she do so. That for sure would also to serve as vengeance for her brother. I timidly attempted to perform the Bladed Storm. Right then, as if right on time, Velgrind started to move. But as a result, that very act of evasion saved her life. A single swing of that sword had pierced the heavens and split the seas. Literally. Its strength still not waning. It split multiple Imperial airships in two along its path. The energy of the swing even cut apart the ocean. Velgrind, who came back to her senses, screamed at me in a mix of anger and fear. But bastard, what was that? What Velgrind was now isolated in my imaginary space. How is this possible? Why? What just happened? I've lost? That's right. You won't be able to escape my imaginary space. Rudra, you see. He reached his limits long ago. He reincarnated himself so many times that it wore his soul out. What you see there is Rudra, but it's also not. He's long been replaced by Michael, Lord of Justice. Rudra once held pure and idealistic dreams of creating a perfect world where disputes could be settled with words rather than violence. But Guy obeyed the rules to the end. As a result, in the distance, the breath of his friend vanished. I'm sure it's not just Rimuru who could have done it. Guy couldn't help but sigh. There was no bitterness or regret. There was only mourning for the man who was his best friend. That's why I told you, asshole. And just like that, the millennia-long game between Guy and Rudra came to an end.
That aberration of a slime. An ally of my foolish brother, Demon Lord Rimuru. He had freely altered an ultimate skill, giving me my freedom and greatly improving my abilities to an even higher level. Only my brother Veldanava could do such a thing.
Velgrind took a quiet breath as she leapt into the space between worlds, seeking Rudra yet again. His soul scattered across endless realms. Each encounter more heartbreaking than the last. She would find him, recognize him, and yet never be fully recognized in return. She understood eventually. Veldanava hadn't created a single world, but many. Not parallel, but separate realms where Rudra could exist, only to vanish again. Confirmed. A soul corridor with the individual named Velgrind has been established across time and space. Huh. Just as Masayuki was becoming more confused, that person appeared. I've been looking for you for a long time, Rudra. Always, always, always longing to see you. After saying that, Velgrind's eyes welled with tears as she looked at Masayuki.
In a spectacle of wrath and chaos, King Rimuru of Tempest, aptly named the Chaos Creator, fought against a formidable army led by Emperor Rudra of the United Eastern Empire.
In the original timeline, Rimuru managed to arrive in time to prevent the Tempest massacre, ensuring the safety of his people and avoiding the need to awaken as a true demon lord. Much of the events prior to this remained unchanged. He still taught and saved the children, guiding them toward a brighter future. However, in the current timeline, Chloe's interference caused a critical delay, leading to the catastrophic Tempest massacre and pushing Rimuru down the path of despair, ultimately resulting in his Demon Lord awakening. Chloe had the ability to go back in time, a gift and a curse intertwined, a power born of desperation and regret. Each time she used it, she hurled herself back 2,000 years, hoping that maybe this time she'd change what was destined. Yet, each attempt ended the same way. Rimuru would die. No matter what she tried, no matter the strategies, the alliances, or the sacrifices she made, his fate seemed written in blood and stone, as if mocking her efforts. And so the cycle continued, endlessly looping, a chain with no start and no end.
There are countless ways to reshape a shattered world, ways to rewrite the paths of those destined to fall. I've seen many of them, felt the weight of each choice and each sacrifice. Time bends to my will, yet some things remain constant. The need to protect, to safeguard what matters most. No matter how many times I face the end, no matter the price, I will save you, Rimuru.
Besides, if you take things too far, you'll be attacked by the angels.
Huh? Angels?
They are beings that attack whenever a nation has developed beyond a certain point.
They sound like a pain. Well, if they end up coming after us, we'll just have to fight back.
He hated all demi-humans, that is to say, all of humanity. So he wanted to destroy them. The people who took Veldanava from us don't deserve to live. As the head of the 7 primordial angels, he was the leader of the group, and all the responsibilities fell upon his shoulders. It was inevitable that Feldway, who made all the decisions on his own, would be out of step with his colleagues. Feldway's fault was that he did not care about what his colleagues thought. The accumulation of such a situation led to discord, and without Feldway realizing it, he gradually lost grip of the group. As a result, the group lost their cohesiveness.
As Velzard entered the battlefield in an attempt to freeze and kill off Milim's friends, this caused Milim to rage. Fueled by rage, Milim released her ultimate skill, Wrath King Sataniel. It was the ultimate power to propagate magicules.
As they move, they risk crashing into Sarian's sacred tree and wiping out cities. So Rimuru rushes back with Guy to stop the rampage.
Feldway set a trap for Rimuru when he was about to save Milim, using the technique chronosaltation to transport Rimuru to the end of time and space, where the life of the stars had long expired and the world had reached a point of emptiness. Feldway's intention was to avoid a head-to-head fight with Rimuru, who had become a transcendent being capable of rivaling or possibly surpassing him. However, this plan backfired as Rimuru, with the help of Seal, managed to develop the ability called Space-Time Leap. This ability allows him to control and transcend time and space, enabling him to reach any place he desires. Thanks to the connection of many people to his soul corridor, Rimuru was able to use the space-time coordinates to return from the desolate place and continue his fight against Feldway.
When the manas of justice descended, the world itself held its breath. Michael, the embodiment of angelic authority, standing against that absolute system, Rimuru Tempest. For the first time, the so-called administrator of justice faced something he could not fully govern.
Michael realized that his body was disintegrating. He was the first being to bear witness to the strongest ultimate skill, Void God Azathoth. And before he had time to face that inescapable reality. So then, do you have any last words? Rimuru asked him. Accepting defeat, Michael thought to himself. How could he have lost when he had outperformed them in every way? He could not find the answer. That's why he asked a different question rather than sighing in defeat. You, who are you? To which Rimuru replied with a puzzled look. Hey, me, I'm just a slime.
Feldway could not understand it at all, but he felt a little better knowing that Michael's death was not in pain and that his life had meaning. However, he could not help but feel jealous of Michael. How sly, to be satisfied with yourself and leave me behind, he thought to himself.
Rimuru teleported to the old Urazania battlefield, only to find out that the situation was in total collapse. Velzard had fully transformed into her true dragon form, the final restraint in her heart, plunging her into blind rage. But then Rimuru clearly assessed the situation. Acting decisively, he expanded his dragon spirit Haki to the entire battlefield and turning it into void collapse. This completely nullified every single attack from Velzard, shocking even Guy and Testarossa. And this was only possible thanks to Rimuru's vastly expanded energy reserves and Ciel's absolute analytical control. The perfect definition of yin and yang. Feldway was confused. Something incredible had just happened right in front of his eyes. For tens of thousands of years, nothing had ever gone wrong with his plans. But lately, everything had been falling apart. That is why this time he made a plan for the perfect situation. And yet, here they were. The Star Vault, long sealed beneath the Heavenly Star Palace, finally awakens under Feldway's command. As the celestial locks snap open, the entire palace shakes as though the heavens themselves are being rewritten. Inside the vault lies the core purpose of the heavenly realm, the mechanism created by Veldanava to hold the remnants of his divine essence. Feldway walks alone into the vault, bathed in radiant energy so overwhelming that even angels would disintegrate if they approached. The chamber is filled with drifting shards of creation light, pieces of Veldanava's power that never faded. Feldway stretches out his hand and speaks. My lord, the world you created has strayed too far. It is time for you to return and restore it. When his hand touches the central altar, the entire vault ignites with cosmic force. A pulse of divine energy blasts across the heavenly realm. The Heavenly Star Palace trembles. The angels kneel from the overwhelming pressure. The seals around the dimensional walls begin to distort. Feldway whispers, "The first stage is complete. Veldanava will awaken."
Before the beginning of the very beginning, beyond the constraints of existence itself, an all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-encompassing oneness that just was, in an effort to bring itself entertainment, sought to create other worlds, with space for them to occupy and time for them to experience events sequentially, along with 6 other attributes that later came to be known as the Great Holy Spirit and the Void. But this was incomplete. God was perfect, omniscient and such. Couldn't be surprised, and for this problem it decided to create an avatar for itself, an imperfect existence of its own. A part of itself to experience the joy it couldn't feel itself, and that avatar was what would later come to be known as the Creator God Veldanava.
My wife has come back to life as Ivaraj. My daughter will be arriving soon. My family will be complete. Even if it's a fake family, it will fill the hollow in my heart. This world means nothing to me. They committed the gravest of sin, killing Lucia. I will destroy all the worlds to patch her fragments and recreate her.
In the collapsing cradle of creation, Rimuru Tempest stood against the one who shaped the world itself, Veldanava, the primordial god.
Narrowing his eyes slightly, he declared, "Well then, let's get right to it. Shall we test how far you can follow the divine providence decreed by the gods?"
Those words served as the signal. What began was a sword dance between me and Veldanava. Our swords formed a severing space that sliced through anything it touched. No one was optimistic that Luminous would resurrect them if they died.
If you're doing all of this because of Lucia, wouldn't it make more sense to just reincarnate her yourself, Rimuru? The only threat to him asked. But Veldanava explained that it was impossible. Lucia's soul had already reincarnated into countless fragments across different worlds. Because of that, Veldanava found only one way to bring her back, by destroying all worlds themselves. Only then could he reincarnate Lucia into a new and better world in their place. He would destroy everything that he created. After all, that was his right.
With overwhelming authority, he severed the Manas tearing seals away from Rimuru Tempest in the middle of battle. For a moment, the world stilled. The ultimate analytical existence, the voice that had guided every evolution, was gone. Silence. CL laughed. Calm. Amused. Almost pitying. Rimuru stood, aura rising without hesitation, adapting instinctively to the battlefield. Veldanava felt something he hadn't in eons. Shock. Because even stripped of his manas, the slime before him was still evolving.
Oh, it looks like Veldanava was surprised too. Good, good. If I can even surprise the Creator God, then that's a big win for me. However, there was no doubt that this was a troubling situation. This is the biggest crisis situation we have ever faced. The reason is that CL isn't inside me right now.
And at that moment, Veldanava stretched forth his hand and tore Rimuru's soul from his body. The world froze. Time itself refused to move. Satisfied, the Creator turned his back, already preparing to leave. For what threat could remain once the soul was gone? Then a voice echoed behind him. "You think removing my soul is enough to kill me?" Silence followed. Power surged where nothing should have existed. A will remained, unbound by flesh, unbound by law. "I was a monster before I had a body," the voice continued. "I ruled before I had a throne." The soul did not fade. It multiplied. "You created life to obey the rules," Rimuru said. "I exist beyond them." Veldanava stopped. For the first time since creation, a god hesitated. "If a soul were enough to define me," the voice whispered, "then I would never have reached this far." Veldanava looked at me sharply and asked, "Why are you on par with me?" I answered without hesitation, "Because I'm strong." Yes, I am strong. That's what CL always told me. It was as if the world itself was waiting for the blade to be reborn. It became a Genesis weapon, the first Genesis weapon not created by God. The name of my sword has been decided, Hope, or Elpis. The hope that the world will not end. I'm greedy after all. I put a great deal of meaning into the names Hope and Elpis. Elpis. I don't remember why, but that's a nice name to me. Well then, if you truly intend to destroy the world, I'll do everything in my power to stop you. Veldanava gave a thin smile. It was a strange feeling. He wasn't looking down on me at all. That smile held neither pity nor amusement, but pride, the pride of a creator whose creation, one he had never met, had taken up arms to protect all life. Or The life form I created has now come to defy the will of its creator so clearly. I am overwhelmed with emotion. Perhaps you could achieve the feat of killing a god. For the first time, his gaze carried something rare. Recognition. Thought did not anger Veldanava. It pleased him, because gods were never meant to rule forever, and a world that could not surpass its creator was a world doomed to stagnation. As Rimuru stood there, weapon in hand, Veldanava's smile deepened.
Elpis. It's a name I've only recently heard. A cheeky slime stood in front of me. The name is... Veldanava suddenly remembered something. A conversation I once had with Lucia. What should we name this baby? When asked this question, Veldanava answered with a happy feeling. That's right. Wouldn't Milim be good? Wait a minute. Why had I forgotten? That was before Milim was born. Veldanava had certainly spoken another name. Now that I remember that, I'm convinced that it was all inevitable. I see, surpassing his parents had been achieved.
In the quiet stillness before the world had shaken, Veldanava, the Star King Dragon, gazed upon the fragile life cradled in his arms. A soul born not from flesh, but from pure possibility. A tiny spark that shimmered brighter than any star he had ever woven into existence. In that moment, even the creator of worlds felt something he had never known. Hope. He lifted the newborn, letting the radiance of creation wash gently across the small, formless body. You will be the light that guides the ages, he whispered, a rare warmth softening the voice of a god. And with that conviction he bestowed a name meant to carry destiny, rebirth, and endless potential. Elpis, the embodiment of hope itself. Long before he would rise as Rimuru Tempest, before nations and legends, he was simply Elpis.
So the child of the creator was scattered, reborn far from divine eyes, hidden within fate's blind spot. With a human's death, a slime is born. The world shakes. That soul resurfaced as Rimuru Tempest, a seemingly harmless existence that evolved with every challenge, every victory, every kill, until the sealed divinity inside him began to awaken. This was never chance. This was the rise of Veldanava's heir, a god reborn in the body of a monster. In that case, only the forbidden technique remained. I had only ever intended to use this when creating a new world. It was the ultimate trump card, held in reserve for the most dire of emergencies. Heaven and earth destruction ruin. Initialize heaven. It destroys every existing world and initializes their reconstruction. Power truly hidden of the creator.
Ivaraj, dragon of destruction, begins absorbing everything. Not eating, but reverting things back into their original state. Veldanava understands he cannot escape. This is his punishment, the final consequence of all the mistakes he made. His loneliness, his selfishness, and the chaos he spread across the worlds. But then Lucia appears beside him. Hand in hand, they accept their fate together, as Ivaraj slowly pulls them in. Lucia comforts him. Veldanava's heart softens. He feels peace for the first time. It's okay, because there is hope for us too. Hope. Elpis. It's a name I've only recently heard. A cheeky slime stood in front of me.
As he was about to be assimilated by Ivaraj, Veldanava felt enveloped in happiness once again.
Rimuru ultimately defeats this combined, highly malicious entity. In a move characteristic of his character and powers, he eats, consumes the defeated Ivaraj Veldanava fusion.
After Rimuru defeated Ivaraj, also known as Ivaraj, Guy Crimson declared his ascension. Rimuru Tempest was no longer merely a demon lord. He would stand as the great demon lord, the one who ruled above them all. Thus, the Octagram was dissolved and replaced by a new order, the 7 luminary sovereigns, marking the end of balance. Feldway was never meant to stand beside anyone, yet the more Feldway watched him, the more the contradiction deepened. Rimuru wielded overwhelming power, and yet chose restraint. A villain who once sought to shape the world through obedience found himself drawn to someone who changed it through will. And without realizing it, Feldway stopped trying to correct Rimuru Tempest and began to follow him.
I want to create a world that's comfortable to live in, one that I can enjoy being a part of. A prosperous world where as many people as possible can always be smiling.
And you believe you can create a world like that? Can you really bring such a thing to fruition?
That's what it means to have power. Ideals without power are just a joke, and power without ideals is empty.